I am Dr. Yvonne Laria, founding president of GCSCORED.
And I am Dr. Geneva Fleming, the vice president with GCSCORED. Please pardon my voice today. I might yield to you all to do most of the talking.
Okay. So if you guys, ladies and gentlemen, could introduce yourselves. There's a little mat, I don't know why.
I'm Jamal Moore. I'm Jamal Moore from Montgomery Community College in Troy, North Carolina.
Okay, welcome.
I'm Teresa Herring. I am from Randolph Community College, North Carolina.
I am Sarah Hayden, and I am also from Randolph Community College, North Carolina.
I am Kimberly Simmons. I am the program coordinator and an instructor in the Counseling and Human Services program at Hillsborough Community College in Tampa, Florida.
Okay,
Wonderful.
welcome. So we have a spectrum,
Good spectrum.
yes, of different professions and different
Backgrounds.
settings. Yes, yes. Welcome. So our first question, and we want to get everybody involved, so jump in, is what made you choose this workshop, the social emotional wellness training program, utilizing the Cultivating Seeds system framework to increase mental health resources? What made you choose this as opposed to the other many workshops that were being offered here?
I'll start
Okay.
by saying that I had no idea what this workshop was going to entail, but I liked the title of it. I liked the title of it, and I thought with what I would learn, and I liked the fact that it was more than just an hour,
Okay.
or an hour here or an hour there, that I would get something a lot more in depth out of it that I could not only use for myself but share with my students, and I also run a therapeutic group, so I could use it as tools for my therapeutic group as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful. And Sarah?
I was honestly hoping that I would be able to add more tools to my toolbox to be able to assist with my children who are back at home that have issues. And clearly after working with your program, that also means that I do too.
That's a good observation. That's a good observation, Sarah. Thank you. Teresa?
Well, I was like her. I didn't know what it meant.
Mhm.
Yeah, but after yesterday and the times that we have spent with you, I've learned a lot about how to deal with things from the past that could be affecting how I see things now,
Yes.
or maybe even in the future.
Okay. Good.
Well, this struck out at me more than any other session in this conference. So this was a must that I attend this session, and this session has helped me spiritually, emotionally, and helped me deal with things I have never dealt with. And so it was a mind opener for me and an eye opener for me that I have to face some things and I have to just deal with them.
Yeah.
And I have to deal with my social emotional wellness. So it has helped me out a lot, and I want to go far as I can in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I must add that
Awesome.
Jamal, once information was advertised on the website, you reached out and sent an email and said, look, put me on the list. I know there are only 20 slots. I need to be one of the 20. He sent an email to make sure that he was included in the number.
Yes.
So thanks for sharing what drew you to that workshop now. Help us understand were those goals met, the degree to which your needs were met in this workshop, the reasons you came.
Well, I was a troubled youth, and my parents were both pastors. I wasn't abused at home, but I was abused at school by professionals, counselors. So my goal in human services is to be not what they were and to be better than they were, because if they done it to me, imagine the other kids they done it to. And I know that Dr. Laria said something about being a disruption.
Mhm.
I want to be that disruption,
That's right.
and I want to be that difference. I want to be that change.
Mhm.
So this met the goal of me working on myself first,
Mhm.
so that I can work on other young people and families too.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Very well
Yeah,
stated.
yeah.
Thank you for
Sharing
sharing that.
that, yeah.
Anybody else?
I'll say that not knowing what to expect.
Mhm.
Okay, I came in as a blank slate.
Okay.
But, unlike some of the other folks in the group, I have done decades of work on myself. I am a mental health counselor.
Mhm.
But I will say that this particular way of the SEEDS program, the particular way that you all break down the steps
Mhm.
towards looking at your own development
Mhm.
and how it's affecting current day relationships did help me to see a few additional things.
Mhm.
So I'm always up for that, and I think it's a very, very nice way
Mhm.
to break it down to break down a very complex and abstract process
Mhm.
into concrete steps.
Awesome, yeah.
And it
Go
made,
ahead.
sorry,
Go ahead.
it made it easier to understand what you were looking for as far as the way you broke it down.
Mhm.
But it also gave us a chance to actually sit down and think about what we were going to do with my story,
Mhm.
our mission, our goals.
Mhm.
You made it where we had to actually sit down and think about where we were as to where we are now, as to where we can go forward.
Right, good, awesome. What about you, Sarah?
Well, it's a lot like what you said in class. This is absolutely not a Band-Aid.
Right.
This entire course rips the Band-Aid off
Mhm.
and exposes
Mhm.
all of that for yourself.
Mhm.
And we were talking about roots in class,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I've been saying that for a while. I've been looking for a therapy,
Mhm.
not only that I would be able to use with and for my children to help them, but also that I would be able to put into practice, because you can spray a weed, you can stomp a weed, but if you don't pull it up by the root, you're not gonna have it
It's
taken
gonna
care
keep
of.
up.
That's right.
Yep.
Keep
That
on
is, and that's exactly what one of the main philosophies of this program is.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Dealing with the root, and the fruit will take care of itself.
Yeah,
If you deal with the root, the fruit will take care of itself.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So how usable do you believe if you think about your own learning over the last few days, and, keeping in mind the deficit in this country, in this world,
Mhm.
with mental health resources.
Mhm.
Someone in our group shared about what seems average is a caseload of 1,000. So one would question the effectiveness that a counselor, a social worker, any practitioner might have. How usable do you believe this approach might be to anyone, at any age, in any setting?
I think it would be wonderful, because you have to consider the education of and the ages of the people that would be using it.
That's right.
Mhm.
For children, it would be easier for them to understand, because it's not these long drawn out words that you have to explain to them.
Mhm.
Maybe for people that aren't as educated,
Mhm.
they would still be able to understand it.
Mhm.
So I think the basic parts of this, anybody could do, with no matter their age, their education, or whatever.
Awesome.
I would honestly love to see your program in public school system, even at the elementary school level, especially with EC.
Mhm.
Children who are already displaying the fact that they are having problems, whether those problems are coming from school, whether those problems are coming from a mental disability of any kind,
Right.
or there's problems in the home, and getting them even at the elementary school level to understand that even at that age, they still have power
Mhm.
for themselves and over their emotions and how they will choose to view it
Exactly.
and be able to get past it. And this system would be awesome from there all the way on. It could go ahead and go into nursing homes too, because like we can go every step of the
Every
way
step
up,
of the way, yeah.
and it involves absolutely everybody.
Yeah.
And it would probably help be more preventative
Exactly.
in the school setting as
It's
well.
just the intent.
Just training the EC teachers to be implementing it.
Right.
That would be absolutely amazing, and imagine the changes to the entire country if it was just implemented into basic school.
Basic,
Mhm.
yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
But, and like I just said, it takes a complex and abstract process, which
Yes.
seems very scary to a lot of people, and it breaks it down into steps.
Absolutely.
That at the end you go, oh,
Exactly.
is this what we were doing?
Exactly.
That's it, and that is what we want, because it doesn't, because there's not that stigma attached to
Right.
what it is, so we try to demystify.
Yeah, intentionally.
Yes, demystify the whole counseling approach and relationship, and we also try to destigmatize the whole mental health world.
Right.
And so, like you said, when you go through these simple steps, simple in terms of process, but not simple in terms of work.
Yeah,
Right.
and
The
outcome.
commitment,
Right.
the
Yeah.
commitment. And so the goal is to take this information without the stigma, without the complexity of the construct, and make it so that people get to the end and say, oh, like you said, I mean, that is perfect. This is what I was doing.
This is it.
I was analyzing myself.
And look how it all fits together.
Yeah.
Right.
And now I know how to do, when you get to the other plots or the other levels, they will learn how to manage that, right? So we only worked on recognize. We only did one plot.
I know.
I know.
Yes.
One.
level.
Yes. And when they're equipped, when the regular person is equipped with the entire system, they can be empowered to take care of the issues that are causing them imbalance, and don't have to necessarily wait for it to become chronic or acute before they can get help. And then there's no telling, they may not get the help even when it's acute, because
Right.
we know the shortage of mental health providers, we know the shortage of, the whole access, we know all of that.
Right.
Yeah. So,
Or even the basic stigma that goes along with, oh, you're going to therapy.
exactly.
Like,
And what we say is, we're gonna rumorize, right?
Right.
We're gonna, instead of using the word, let's process this, let's rumorize this. And so it's benign. The language is benign.
Yes. No psychobabble.
Exactly.
I like that psychobabble.
What about tell us about your experience using the extended learning activities and engaging in that process.
it took a lot of thought.
Uh-huh.
It really didn't take me long to write anything that went along with those activities. What took the most time was actually thinking truly about what you were asking for and how it related to me, and being able to gather the strength sometimes to be able to put that to paper where somebody else would be able to see it, read it, and then not only having to admit to myself, but also have to admitting to others that these things happened. I can still get past it. I am recognizing these things.
Right.
The thought process took longer than the actual work itself.
Yes. I agree.
It seemed to resonate throughout.
Throughout, yeah. So you agree with that? how would you apply this to not just yourself, but to your other settings, the diverse settings that you are embedded in?
You know, there's a lot of times that even with my children, we say time out.
Mm-hmm.
That also has a negative stigma to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, I need to take a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And while you're taking that minute and calming down, you are doing the rumerizing steps
Mm-hmm.
and just sitting there, okay, you know, why am I mad?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I feeling what I'm feeling? Let me take back control over this rather than I'm going to rule my emotions rather than emotions ruling me. And I'm going to take control of the situation by working
Through
the steps of both rumor and time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's a very calming effect.
Mm-hmm.
And because it is so much thought, you can actually sit, take your minute,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time you're done going through those steps,
Mm-hmm.
you are much, much calmer and able to deal with whatever situation you are facing.
Okay. Awesome.
Now, this is perhaps another population that you all might want to think about, because the therapeutic group that I'm driving home to run this evening is a group for women with substance abuse issues, and my group is on thoughts.
Oh, really?
Yes. And so this, not knowing what your group was going to be about,
Right.
I fell into it and I thought, wow. This is fantastic, because this fits in it aligns very closely with the population that I'm working with, because with substance abuse issues, there's always trauma involved.
Absolutely.
And we work basically on recognizing thoughts, recognizing how we can change thoughts, and recognizing the power in of blame and forgiveness and all of this. So
this is perfect for you.
Yes, I fell right into it.
Yeah.
So I was thrilled sitting through, not only, like I said, for me personally, but also for me professionally.
Right.
Yep.
So would you, let me ask you, Kimberly, would you then be, and I'm going to come to you, would you then be interested in learning the whole program?
Yes.
Because I can see how you can teach your clients
Yes.
this process.
Yes.
It makes it's less complex, is organized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
I had planned to.
Okay.
So-
Okay. Yeah.
I want to finish it.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
As far as right now, I don't think I could take this and do something with it, because you said something about everything happens underground.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm still underground.
Okay. Right. The
And-
cultivation.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I still
Yes.
have a process to go through.
For yourself.
So my goal would be to finish those 90 hours. So
Yeah.
I can see what else in me
Mm-hmm.
needs work.
Right. Right.
Very
Awesome.
good. Good
Yeah.
reflection.
Good reflection.
Yeah, because you can't just stop at step one and say, okay, I'm fine.
Yeah.
You have to figure out there can be other stuff that you're trying to not deal with
Yeah. And
or trying to avoid and just go on with everyday life, but you still have it tearing at you and not knowing how to deal with it
Exactly.
or to make you more acceptable to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So just stopping at step one is not going to do it. You have to go on and continue. And I want to continue to find out
Okay.
the rest
Awesome.
of it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Any parting words? And what takeaway?
Well, I would suggest this to anybody out there.
Mm.
Get this training.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the whole world needs this.
Mhm.
I mean, just from a personal point, the whole world needs this. There are so many people out there hurting,
Mhm.
and they don't really know why there.
Yes.
And if I would have had somebody when I was younger, instead of focusing on my behavior, like you said,
The fruit.
and if they would have been saying, oh, he's crying out for help.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys knew that I was crying out for help. Well, I mean, you didn't know, you don't know me personally, but you was there. And so that at this point, I'm ready to move forward and see what's next.
Yes.
What's next? What's the next thing?
That's
Right.
exciting.
Exciting. Yeah.
So go out there and get this training. Go. Get up and go.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that.
Anybody else? What other parting words do you want to leave with the viewers? And
I can only just, ditto what Jamal was saying. I mean, it is excellent training for anyone. And it is, while it's deep and meaningful, it's simple.
yes.
So that makes it very doable.
Yes, it makes it
good.
very
Thank you.
doable.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that.
I more than absolutely agree. I am not quite as fervent about woo!
Yeah.
Everybody go and get this training. Yes, absolutely. Everybody does need to go and get the training. But as I said, I would love to see everybody get trained, and I would love to go back and talk to Jamal, and talk to Teresa,
Yeah.
and talk to this wonderful lady over here, and be like, "Hey, y'all finished the training?
Yeah.
Yeah. You training other people now?
Yeah.
Are
Right.
we spreading this all over?
Right.
Because
Increasing access.
That's
Exactly.
That's what you want.
idea.
That's
we
what it is.
want to be able to, because as I said, it could be in the school system, but I know that you're working with group home and you're also working with substance abuse.
Substance abuse and not a group home, community college students,
Okay.
training them.
Okay, so
Okay.
that's one whole core of people.
Yep.
I know that Teresa was saying that she wanted to work with a specific crowd from substance abuse on the other side. That's another group of people.
Right.
Jamal, I don't remember what core people that you wanted to work with.
Jamal is focusing on himself.
Right
Exactly.
now, yeah.
But and
I
I
don't
want
want to be selfish, but I'm focusing on
No,
myself.
but that's
That is not selfish.
That's where it
selfish.
starts. Absolutely.
That is not selfish.
That's not at all.
But I want to work with juveniles.
Mhm.
So if you take his pool of people and her pool of people and my pool of people and her pool of people, and we finish all of this and are able to step forward and help spread it,
Yes.
then there's going to be 4 more people in that group that's going to go and branch off,
Yes.
and we're going to end up.
Yes.
Screw a tiny plant, we're going to have a giant forest.
There you go, and that's the goal. That is the goal. Yes. And on
And
that
that's our
note,
mantra. Every piece matters.
Yes.
Absolutely. So you said it
And
well.
another thing is, we're all from different areas.
Exactly.
Because I go to school in Randolph, but I don't live there.
Right.
Yeah.
I live in another town.
Yeah.
So if I could take and finish the 90 hours and take this back to where I live,
Yeah.
and then Jamal takes it where he lives, and
Yeah.
Kimberly is here, and Sarah takes it, because they're not in the same county either. They live an hour apart,
Yeah.
and I live an hour from her and 2 hours from him. So I mean, it's just like a different location,
Yeah.
and then that way we can just spread it out to everybody.
And increase the access.
Yeah.
Right.
That is what, because that's
the goal.
That's one of the 2 goals we have.
That's
And
right.
everybody keeps on talking about, oh, this needs to go viral. This needs to go viral.
Exactly. I agree.
Totally agree.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Thanks.
Thank you.
thank
But
you.
we want to
guys.
thank you.
Yes,
Mhm.
very much.
You and you, we want to thank you for bringing this to us.
Yep.
And this is my first conference. It's been the best conference I ever been to. It's better than any church conference, music conference. It's just been awesome. It's been awesome. I feel
Wonderful.
refreshed, rejuvenated.
Wonderful.
I just thank you guys.
And ready to
Welcome.
continue.
We thank you. We see this as our calling, and when we hear this, it just affirms that we are walking in the path that has been ordained and destined for us. And so, when our lives interconnect, it's a divine interconnection. You didn't come into the workshop just because of the name of the workshop.
It was fate.
And how we see it is that it was a divine appointment.
is.
Right.
Well, what I wrote on my puzzle piece
Uh-huh.
is that the universe is working exactly as it should.
There you go. There you go.
as it should.
Yes.
Exactly, and we can end with that.
That's
The
right.
universe is working exactly as it should.
That's right.
Kimberly Simmons.
Simmons.